I went and saw Superman. Yeah, I can talk about that now. Welcome to iTakes. Pretty sure everybody's seen Superman. Obviously, I'm doing this a little bit late purposely, so I'm not a spoiler. People go to movies, see a movie, and they'll have the spoiler up before Saturday just so they can talk about it. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to bring you information that's going to be a little bit late on purpose. Hi, Times. I didn't see what other people saw. I don't know why. I'm even seeing people do reviews for this movie. Couple reasons. I didn't see what y'all saw. Let's go into this a little bit. Okay, I wanted to show that scene for a reason. That is the intro to the whole movie. The whole movie. Like, when you go into the movie theater, that's the first part of the movie. There is nothing else. He's thrown in the snow. Crypto brings him back to the Fortress of Solitude. They heal him up. You're going to go into this movie thinking you missed a lot. You didn't. I like that about this movie. Stop giving me the background. Stop telling me all the stuff I don't want to know. Just get straight to the point. I'll figure it out later. I'm not stupid. For a lot of people that don't know Superman, it's going to come off like that. But that's what Superman does. He doesn't kill anybody. He's corny because he's constantly getting beat up. He's constantly getting beat up. That's Superman. For all the people that are like, oh, this is not my Superman. I want my Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's trash as a Superman. And that hurts people's feelings because they look at Superman as just destruction, and that's not Superman. That's why Man of Steel is not a good representation of Superman. Superman does whatever he can not to destroy stuff. And when people go, well, Henry Cavill was the beginning of Superman, doesn't matter. Even in this movie, they kind of proved the point. His family, his farm life, his parents raised him to be that Superman, not to let any crime happen, not to let anybody hurt, pain, all that stuff. So it's almost like the Zack Snyder Superman, because his father died in a tornado, which is still the dumbest death in movie history when you have Superman right there. Anyway, his father died in a tornado. With his father's death in a tornado, I guess he wasn't raised properly or something. Like, did you not remember to save all these people? Do you not remember the oath? And then when all that stuff is happening and all the destruction is happening, that is why Batman doesn't like Superman. I'm on Batman's side with that. With this movie, all of it does make sense. He's corny. He could easily take out a villain or a bad guy, but he doesn't. He doesn't want to kill. He doesn't want to hurt. He wants to study. He wants to learn more, except when it comes to Lex Luthor. Now, Lex Luthor is already, his backstory is already established. He's already here. So therefore, because his backstory is already established, we don't get all the stuff that I guess people who don't know Superman want. Like, why is Lex doing this? Because he does that. That's what he does. Okay, well, what's the story with... There's so many stories in here that if you don't know any history behind comic books, you're going to be lost. If you even know the slightest bit about... If you watched a Superman show, The Adventures of Superman from the 90s, if you watch the new Superman show, they have a new one, Lois and Clark, any Superman show, you're up to date. You kind of got what's going on. Now, that's why I like this. If you're a comic book fan, it'll give you what you want. Now, if you're a movie comic book fan, it's not going to give you what you want at all, because a movie comic book fan, at least in my eyes, is trying to get their own interpretation. Like, they don't want it to be corny. They don't... Like, some people are like, I don't like this interpretation of James Gunn because it's kind of cartoony. But it's supposed to be. It's a comic book. I don't know what else to tell you. It's supposed to be that. And if you don't like that, then you don't like the character of Superman. He's not fighting a basic I mean, Lex Luthor kinda, but Lex Luthor isn't a basic bad guy. He's a mental bad guy. So everything else is all physical with Superman. So he has to learn to outsmart people. Those are his villains. Mixolopopus, or whatever the heck his name is. I can't do it right now. Parasite is actually a pretty big villain. Ultraman is just the opposite version of him, as in you'll see in the movie. But in the movie, it's not the real Ultraman. Again, movie interpretation of Ultraman. If you like Ultraman, you're not gonna like this Ultraman. You might even think he's Bizarro, but he's not Bizarro because he's literally called Ultraman, so he's Ultraman. So that's one. Then you got his assistant, which she is in the cartoons, and I think she's in the comic book. She's supposed to be like his chauffeur and stuff, but they made her more into like the female from Zod, like the Krypton female. She reminds me of that more than she does his assistant. She doesn't do as much as his assistant. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I kind of like that there's something like that in here, but they didn't focus on that as much as they should have. The Hall of Justice already existed, which technically means all the stuff that Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, all that stuff has already happened. So this is like future down the line for Superman. He's not just starting. He's Superman. He's top of the line, high end Superman, which is also another reason I kind of had a little bit of an issue, but I accepted it because I get it. He's high end Superman. This point, if he's at the Hall of Justice, he should have at least taken on Doomsday, Darkseid. He might have died already. We don't know, because we don't know where the villains fall in the pantheon. But because of that, and we don't know where they fall at, I don't know which version of Superman I'm watching. If that makes sense. Is he post-death, pre-death? He obviously knows about Krypton. He understands Krypton because he has Fortress of Solitude. Spoilers, Supergirl is in this movie. So all that's happened. So I'm assuming War World hasn't happened yet because Supergirl is still here. She's still a little wild, so I'm assuming none of that has happened. He's just got a lot of stuff that just... I don't know what the timeline is. That's just where it is. I accept it. I let it be. Let's see what they do with it. But if he has the robots and stuff, I'm assuming he's deep in the future. Superman's lifespan. And they always say Superman taps out at 27. But where he is, even in the comic books, he would be like in his mid-30s. Because of Kara, which is Supergirl. Yeah, that was interesting. I can't say more about it. Mr. Terrific's the best part of the movie. Shouts out to the black dude that played Darwin and X-Men First Class. They owed him one. So far, James Gunn is like, black people in the DCU are the coolest people in the whole DCU. Mr. Terrific, Idris Elba, Colonel Flag, he's gonna come back. That's gonna be dope. If you watch Creature Commandos, it leads Superman. It leads into Superman. See, the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, they're all surrounding Superman. So Superman is like the foundation for the DCU projects. They all circle back around Superman. They were trying to do that in the other one, the other DCU. They did it backwards. They focused so much on the superheroes that by the time they got to Suicide Squad supervillains, you didn't know why they weren't there. It didn't make sense. You were like, so why aren't the superheroes here? And they would kind of explain it, but it didn't work. Whereas in this, we know Superman's there, but we've already focused on the Suicide Squad. We know they exist. We've already talked about, the Creature Commandos. They're the second Suicide Squad, technically. We know what's going on with them. Peacemaker, we know what's going on with them. So we know, outside of the foundational superheroes, why the other people that he will probably bring in later are not Omega level. They're very street level, and it's good he started there, because then you see like a kaiju in the middle of Metropolis, and you're just like, well, Superman, obviously, but then you see the other, Justice Gang, like Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and they're fighting, and it takes them a minute, but they will handle it. They're not trying to save everything. They're trying to get rid of the problem and keep it moving. So that's what makes more sense with them. Everybody who's a hero or a villain or somewhat in between has an agenda in this universe, and it makes more sense of why things don't get done. For now, yeah, go check out Superman. Better superhero movies in terms of fun and entertaining. There's probably a good amount of plot holes I'll go back over later. But fun, first watch, entertaining, it gave me what I wanted to see. I also have to say, this is my favorite Superman so far. He is easily my favorite Superman. I think he's better than Brandon Routh. I think he is better than. I definitely think he's better than Henry Cavill. Probably gonna disagree with me on that one. I don't care. I think he's a lot better than Henry Cavill. A better job as in even how he spoke. Whereas, and this isn't Henry Cavill's fault. This is the writer's fault. This is, I wouldn't even say Zack Snyder to the T, but I feel like Henry Cavill was very like stern and almost like drab, morbid. Even when he spoke hope, it was like, yes, you know, like it was like we had, like it was like he was just like kind of like flat, like one note. He came off as very one notish, especially because you saw his Clark Kent interpretation, and his Clark Kent interpretation was very like,
you're digging up snakes, though.
I'm a strong everyman, and people need me, and you know, remember he's at the ship and his shirt's off and he's jumping, he's trying to, and that's cool, I guess. In the Dark Snyder universe, like Batman fits that, Superman doesn't. And in this, Superman, even when stuff is going wrong, he's very like, hey, good guys. Like he's very like chipper still. He was getting in an argument with Lois at one point, and I'm like, he's trying not to lose his cool, but even he's like, dag nabbit, Lois. Like it's not like, man, you're getting on my nerves. It's very much like he comes off to me as Robin in the old '60s Batman. Like, good golly gee gosh. Like, he's like that type of character. Shouts out to David Cornsweet, whatever the heck his name is. So, another reason he's the best Superman. This is why. Bang, 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 right here. Philly gang.
Hi, I'm David Cornsweet. This is This or That with people.
Cheesesteak or hoagie?
A hoagie just because it's more, you got more options. Eagles or Phillies? Eagles, just because I don't unfortunately have time to watch more than one game a week. So I will watch the Eagles when they're playing. Although I also end up, every time I watch, they lose. It's a terrible Jeet or John.
And that's my high take on Superman. Don't listen to what people are saying. Go see it for yourself. If you grew up off Superman, you would probably enjoy this movie.